Episode 9. How is the great Puerto Rican family imagined? Instead of showcasing our harmonious society, the great Puerto Rican family historically erased class, gender, and racial identities, preventing open discussions to address the social tensions prevalent to this day. This concept was first coined in the late 19th century when the white local landowners, known as hacendados, and political leaders of the Partido Autonomista presented themselves as benevolent fathers who would look after the interests of the lower classes and advocate for them before the Spanish Empire, a political promise that they did not have the intention to fulfill. Decades later, as World War II ended and the Cold War began, Western countries decided that agricultural societies needed to adopt Western economic models in order to prevent poverty and war conflicts. They suggested that economic growth could be achieved through industrialization, technological advancement, and a liberal democracy. These policies underlined a racist assumption which asserted that non-Western and non-white societies were inferior and lacked the qualities that would propel their economic and social growth. During the 1950s, the term Great Puerto Rican Family was once again popularized during the modernization and industrialization campaigns of Puerto Rico's local government. Informed by biased assumptions, then Governor of Puerto Rico, Luis Muñoz Marin, used the term to reframe Puerto Rico's racial backwardness and agricultural past to signal a racial cohesion and a bright industrial future, ultimately passing a series of policies that intended to whiten its population while de-emphasizing Puerto Rico's indigenous and African heritage. In 1950, the Puerto Rican government created a local census that deliberately did not include a question about race. As a result, from 1960 to 2000, Puerto Ricans were not asked to identify their race, leading to local terms for denoting degrees of darkness or lightness, such as trigueño, jabao, colorao, prieto, mulato, café con leche, and a personal goal of mejorar la raza, to improve one's race. In 1955, the Instituto de Cultura Puertorriqueña, ICP, Puerto Rican Institute of Culture, was established as part of the Commonwealth's efforts to promote a discourse of Puerto Rican cultural nationalism. Taught that the descendants of enslaved Africans only lived in peripheral towns, that the whitened male jíbaro was the ideal embodiment of Puerto Rican identity, and that the Taínos became extinct soon after colonization. The idea that Puerto Ricans were a whitened mixture of Taíno, Spanish, and African was amplified in local TV programs and tourism campaigns. Signaling a departure from this discourse, Arturo Schomburg reaffirmed his African heritage and problematized the whitening project behind Puerto Rico's official discourses. Schomburg believed that he was one of Africa's scattered children who was born in Puerto Rico, contrary to Partido Autonomista and Muñoz Marin's idea of family. Throughout his life, Schomburg defended the belief that all people of African descent in the Caribbean and the United States were part of one black family whose members have made important contributions to all humanity. Nowadays, leading the effort to develop a black and indigenous consciousness are Puerto Rican artists, activists, and scholars in the archipelago and the diaspora who have embraced blackness and indigenous roots as a constitutive part of the Caribbean and Diasporican identities.